Hey, everybody. Governor Bill Lee here. Welcome to the COABE National Conference. Adult education plays an important role in developing a highly skilled workforce, and adult learning programs provide men and women with new skills and quality job opportunities for a brighter future. We're honored to host you here in Tennessee, and we appreciate your work to support adult learners all across the nation. Thank you for your unwavering service and commitment to adult learners. Enjoy your time in Music City.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of the COABE National Conference. We are so delighted to have you here. This is truly the largest convening of adult educators across the world, actually, with almost 3,500 coming together. Isn't that exciting? Well, I hope you are truly enjoying the amazing networking opportunities, the outstanding sessions, and the off-site activities. I wanted to take a minute to say how much I personally appreciated the Students as Leaders networking event, and a special shout out to Kristen Hempel and Eric Vabornik for all their work coordinating that. Those of you may know that we had a Students as Leaders Summit. It was the best attended we've ever had. So we're very excited about that. Very excited about keeping students at the center of our work. And last night, we had such a wonderful time at the Grand Ole Opry. Who was there and attended with us? Awesome. Thank you, thank you. And tonight we're going to Ole Red. Is anybody else wearing red for the Ole Red? Great. Well, I would also like to take a moment here to thank our state partner, TACE. Is TACE in the house? All right. And I would like to thank the Department of Tennessee's Department of Education for their collaboration leading up to this event. I also want to take a moment to thank our fabulous Strand partners who have really contributed to the outstanding professional development of this conference. So if you're present, would you take a moment to stand up, please, so we can recognize you? Thank you, Strand partners. And to our presenters, there are nearly 500 presenters that contribute to this conference. If you are a presenter, would you please stand? Thank you so much for all that you are doing. We truly appreciate it. And we know that this professional development extends beyond the conference to webinars. So for those of our members that are unable to attend our conference, they're able to experience some of the professional development throughout the year. I'd also like to take a quick moment to thank our fabulous sponsors. Without them, this would not be possible. We're able to keep the cost of the conference low because of them. So if there's a sponsor in the room here, I'd love to thank you as well, and thank our wonderful vendors too. Whenever we can have a partner that invests in adult education, we take that very seriously, and we truly appreciate it. So you'll see when they put the slide back up on the screen, underneath my name or my picture is a QR code. And that is because we want legislators to know that adult education is important. So I want to encourage everybody to take your phone out, put it up there, and download that QR code, and you can take action for adult education. We really want to keep that front and center. Now, we know that all that we do is student-centric. We are constantly having the adult learner in mind. And so with that, I want to call TikTok sensation, current adult learner, Oliver James, to the stage. Oliver, please come. Thank you so much, Oliver. So, yes, Oliver is a young man who is teaching himself how to read. Would you like to say a few words before your video plays?
My name is Oliver James, and I just wanted everybody to know if you would like to do some TikToks with me after you watch the video, you can meet me in the exhibit hall.
Awesome. And they're going to play his short video.
What's up? I can't read, but that's all right. Because if you've been following along, you know we're on a journey to fix that. So, a couple people asked me, why didn't I learn how to read? And honestly, I didn't even know how to respond to this. So, I asked my lady, and she was like, just be honest. So, you know, to be honest, I didn't really ever think deep into it until like now when I put the video out that I can't read, and people kind of started to, you know, respond to it and ask questions. And yeah, I started to think deep, and I realized that when I was young, I was abused. When I was in elementary school, I was in special education, and I didn't even like talking about that. So I never expressed, what they did, but they used to be able to like put their hands on us. And, I can go more into detail with that, but, it was really hard for me to, think about school, reading, anything that had to do with school. When I was going to school thinking about like what's going on, like truth, how can I get expelled? How can I get kicked out of this place? Most of the places. And, truth, they put you from one place to another, and most of them ain't better than the last one you were in, but yeah, there was some abuse in there. I thought I was the problem because as a kid I thought I was grown, but I realize now I was the child. I was supposed to be a child. I was a problem, but I was a child. That's what a child does. You be a kid. But now that I'm an adult, I look at it, I'm like, no one should have been able to put their hands on me, regardless of what kind of child I was. But if you just want to hear more, just let me know. So, let me read to you. Gotta read. All right, I'm just gonna throw it off the top. I'm not the best reader, so bear with me with this one. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream in the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. Ooh, I think I read that one to you before, but that one's dope. All right, one more. We're gonna do one more. Right off the top, I'm gonna read a little bit longer one. All right. Forgiveness. It's one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself to forgive. Forgive everybody. You are relieved of forgive everybody, you are relieved of carrying that burden of resentment. You really are lighter. You feel lighter. You just stop. You just drop that. This is dope because I'm kind of on that right now. People hurt me in the past, and I'm putting it out there like, whatever.
All right, thank you. So for those of you that don't know, Oliver James has been posting his journey to TikTok. He has over 1 million followers, and we were delighted to invite him to the stage just so you could know about the great work that he's doing, how he's raising visibility for adult education, raising visibility for adult learners nationwide. So thank you, Oliver. Thank you so much. Great, thank you. So now it is my pleasure to welcome to the stage Jay Baker. He is the State Director for Adult Education in Tennessee. Jay Baker, come on forward.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jay Baker, the Tennessee State Director for Adult Education. I'm with the Department of Labor and Workforce Development in Tennessee. Thank you, Sharon, Shaketa, members of the COABE board, for inviting me to share a few words. Welcome. Welcome to the great state of Tennessee, to Nashville, the music city capital of the world. I hope you've been enjoying yourselves so far at the conference this week. Hope you've got to get into town a little bit, maybe try some hot chicken or listen to some country music at one of our great honky-tonks. However, hopefully you were able to dodge the one of a trillion bachelorette parties that are going on downtown. Those ladies are everywhere all the time. We love Nashville, though. It's a great town. Again, welcome to day 2 of COABE. We've got a room full of teachers, student support staff. We've got administrators, local staff, state staff, and I'm told that this is the year we've had more adult students, adult learners than any other year at COABE. If you're an adult student, would you mind waving or standing up if you feel brave? Any of our students that are in the audience, we want to recognize you. Yes, please. You students are why we are all here today. You students are why we get up every morning and go to work and do what we do. You students inspire us and make us want to be better. Thank you for being here. In Tennessee Adult Education, our motto is give excellent service to students. The folks from Tennessee in here are probably so sick of me saying that, excellent service to students, but it is our rallying cry. It is our motto. We believe that every minute that a student gives with us is a gift. Our students don't have to be there. No one is forcing them to come to class, but they show up despite all the hurdles that are in their way. Sometimes they're taking an hour-long bus drive. They have to find childcare. Sometimes they're working multiple jobs that can barely squeeze in some class at the end of a long, hard day. I think of my student Anthony, who came to class so diligently. He was missing a leg. He had a wheelchair, and I would watch him pull into the parking lot in his probably 40-year-old beat-up car and pull himself out of the car into his trunk, pull out the wheelchair, wheel himself to class. What a struggle, but he was there every time with a huge smile on his face, just thrilled to be in class. And I think of Anthony often in this role and think, am I doing my job? Are we doing our job as adult educators to make sure that Anthony, every time he shows up, we are showing up and giving our absolute best? We must give our students excellent service. We must give them our very best every single time. Adult education is deeply personal. You all know that. What we do affects individual students and their families. It's the difference between maybe having a roof over their head, a phone in their pocket, a car to drive, being able to read to their kids. We're changing lives. We're changing families and generations. But adult education is also a larger societal issue. It's economic and workforce issues that affect all of us. We've been studying what's called labor force participation rate in the state of Tennessee. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that phrase. I'm more familiar than I care to be in the Department of Labor. But labor force participation rate means it's the number of folks who are in your state or your city who are working or looking for work. So it's different than unemployment, because if you're actively looking for work, then you're part of this labor force. So here's your math problem for the morning. In Tennessee, we have about 500,000 working-aged adults, 500,000 who are without a high school diploma or equivalency. 50% of those folks are not in our labor force. That's 250,000. 250,000 folks who are not working, not looking for work, don't have much education. That's a huge issue. That's a huge issue for our state, and chances are you have a very similar issue in your state. As you'd probably guess then, people's wages are also increasing with education. The economies improve. We have less poverty. We have safer neighborhoods. The list goes on of how education affects people's lives. So our challenge is large, but our opportunity is huge. Adult education impacts not only our students' individual lives, but our communities, our states, and our nation. So thank you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for dedicating yourself and your talents to adult education. And I want to challenge all of us, whatever our role, to make our number one priority excellent service to students. And I want to leave you with a quote from our very own Dolly Parton, our Tennessee national treasure. It's actually some lyrics from her song called Try. Dolly says, "I've always been a dreamer, and dreams are special things, but dreams are of no value if they're not equipped with wings." Dreams are of no value if they're not equipped with wings. Let's go give our students some wings. Have a great rest of your conference. Thank you, everyone. Up next, we'll hear a video message from Octay Assistant Secretary, Dr. Amy Lloyd. I know we all appreciate Dr. Lloyd and her leadership. We're all grateful to Octay and the adult ed team there who partner with us in this work. Even if they did steal LaToya Newsom from Tennessee, we'll be hearing from her soon as well. We appreciate LaToya. We appreciate Assistant Secretary Lloyd. Let's hear from her now. Thanks.
Cache, buenos dias, and good morning, everyone. I'm Amy Lloyd, and I have the honor of serving our great nation as the Assistant Secretary of the Office of Career, Technical, and Adult Education here at the U.S. Department of Education. Congratulations to COABE for hosting yet another amazing national conference. I wish I were there with you in person, and I'm so grateful to every single person in the room today. Each of you plays a vital role in our adult education and family literacy sector. And I love the conference theme this year because I imagine you all gathered together in harmony, and all of us working together in harmony across the country to help millions of people to fulfill their endless potential through adult education. I'm especially grateful to Sharon, Shaketa, and everyone in COABE for your excellent leadership, for strengthening our field, and for your hard work in making energizing conferences like this such a success. I'm excited that my wonderful Octay colleague, LaToya Newsom, is there with you today. As the director of our Division of Adult Education and Literacy, she leads this critical portfolio at the department, and you're going to be hearing from her shortly. We all know that adult education isn't just about classrooms and textbooks. It's fundamentally about people. It's about the transformational power of education, and it's about people striving to achieve their dreams. It's also about strengthening our workforce, and it's about building a brighter, more equitable, and inclusive future for us all. And I'm so proud to be working alongside you and in support of you in this space that is so critical to our nation. Just look around this room for a moment. We are the ones we've been waiting for in adult education. That's why I stand in a place of such deep and heartfelt gratitude to all of you. We have an incredible ecosystem of adult education instructors, program administrators, and state and local leadership who are on the front lines making adult education programming happen each and every day. Your dedication, passion, and tireless efforts are the heartbeat of our movement, and it's because of you that lives are transformed and dreams are realized. And we stand right now at a pivotal moment in history. In the wake of the pandemic, and with the trillions of federal dollars from our once-in-a-generation Investing in America agenda now going out to states and locals, we absolutely need every single person in our country to fulfill the promise that this moment holds for our nation's workforce and our continued vibrancy and competitiveness. Our employers are in dire need of our learners' skills and talents and brilliance. The importance of adult education to our country and our economy has never been clearer. It will take all of us. And I wake in the middle of the night and I think about the 43 million adults in our country who have foundational literacy needs, most of whom we're not yet serving. I think about people who are incarcerated in our country and their unique needs, and how the vast majority of them will be returning home to our communities. I think about immigrants and newcomers who bring such talent to our country, but who need English literacy to thrive. And I think about how critical digital literacy is to everyone's success, and how our learners deserve excellence in digital skills and resilience. In other words, we have real work to do, real people to serve, real pathways and opportunities to build. And I fiercely believe in you. I believe in all of us to do this work. We at the Department of Education are here to support you, to partner with you to shape a future in which all our learners equitably engage in excellent education and workforce development that provides them with dignity, power, and success. I'm proud that the Biden-Harris administration shares your commitment to adult education, and we will continue to advocate for support from Congress to ensure that every learner, regardless of age or background, has access to the education and resources they need to thrive and succeed. So here's to us working together in harmony, knowing that the future of adult education is bright, and our collective efforts will pave the way for a better future for our learners and for us all. Gracias, El Agua. Thank you, and have a great national conference, dear COABE community.
Good morning, everyone. It is an absolute honor and joy to be with you today. My name is LaToya Newson, and I have the privilege of serving as the Director of the Division of Adult Education and Literacy in the Office of Career, Technical, and Adult Education at the U.S. Department of Education. It's hard to believe that I've been in this position almost a year, y'all. That's my Tennessee coming out. I want to start by saying thank you to Sharon, Shaketta, and the entire COABE team for inviting me to be here today. It's wonderful to share this experience with you in my home state. I didn't have to take a flight. I want to say thank you, COABE, for your enduring partnership and commitment to ensuring adult educators and students have the support they need to be successful. The theme for this year's conference, Adult Education Together in Harmony, is a clarion call for the need, the desire, and addressing the challenges of partnership to advance our work. Partnerships are vital to the growth, development, and advancement of the work through our adult education champions, advocates, educators, and our participants. And it's vital to ensuring that we create high-quality adult education programs that raise people and their families out of poverty and give them the opportunity to live the American dream. I want to take this opportunity to reflect on this past year's achievements. As we delve into the progress and successes, it becomes evident that our collective dedication to lifelong learning and skill development has yielded significant advancements in empowering adults across our nation. Our efforts have been fueled by a collaborative spirit and emphasized by the Nelson Mandela statement that states, education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. We have witnessed a transformative shift in our approach with a steadfast commitment to providing accessible and equitable learning opportunities for participants we serve. Indeed, through partnerships with governmental agencies, local adult education agencies, community-based organizations, libraries, correctional facilities, and faith-based institutions, we have expanded access to adult education in underserved areas, reaching individuals who have long been overlooked. AFLA programs continue to make great strides in serving students with barriers to employment. I want to share a few key highlights from program year 22, and the data includes this, so be prepared. Participant enrollment in AFLA programs increased by 21.7% between program year 21 and program year 22, with over 200,000 additional participants. AFLA now enrolls over 1.1 million participants, representing over 43% of total enrollments across Titles 1, 2, and 4 of WIOA core programs. Yes, that deserves applause. AFLA programs enrolled 294,084 youth participants between the ages of 16 and 24, representing over 26% of AFLA program participants. Students enrolled in English language acquisition and IELCE services account for over half of program participation, 56%, followed by adult basic education programs at 36%. If you know me, you know this next one is near and dear to my heart. Enrollment in corrections education increased by 16% between programs years 21 and 22. Our national performance increased across all primary indicators in program year 22, with the largest increases are in the employment and fourth quarter after exit, which saw a 7% increase. So on behalf of Secretary Cardona and the Biden-Harris administration, and on behalf of every community that's enriched and strengthened by your efforts, thank you so much for your hard work and for all that you do every day to make the differences in the lives of others. Let's take a second to celebrate our own accomplishments with a round of applause. I was fortunate to join the Department of Education at this moment in time with a presidential administration and education secretary who is staunchly committed to advancing education and economic opportunities for all. The Biden-Harris administration is lifting up adult education because in order for us to continue to thrive as a great nation, we need every single one of us to fulfill our endless potential. It's an economic and social imperative for us. We know adult learners come with incredible strengths and assets. They are creative and determined and brilliant, and with your tireless support and development, helping them develop the skills they need to earn credentials to thrive, as well as provide the support for reducing barriers, they can do anything. As we need our adult education, and training systems from community colleges to community-based organizations to work closely with local employers to train adult learners from all backgrounds to hire individuals into high-paying jobs. That's why we're committing to making sure that all adult learners have equitable access to education, training, and the support services they need to enter the quality careers in our nation's most critical sectors. In order to build our future, we need better connections with adult education and workforce systems, opening clear avenues to high-paying jobs, to underrepresented populations and underserved communities. So in closing, I'm reminded of a quote from my favorite book, and I call it my life scripture, which poignantly states, "So let us not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up." This sentiment encapsulates the spirit of our achievement over the past year in adult education. And while we have so much good work underway, there is still so much good work we can do together in harmony. We're serving 1.1 million adults with our federally funded programs, yet we know that 43 million adults in our country struggle to read, write, and do math at a third grade level. Some may see this as an overwhelming obstacle, but we see this as an opportunity to do something amazing. So again, on behalf of Secretary Cardona and the Biden-Harris administration, and on behalf of every community that's enriched and strengthened by your efforts, again, thank you so much for your hard work and for all you do every day to make the differences in the lives of others. You have the Departments of Education support and partnership to administer meaningful, innovative, equitable, and rewarding opportunities for all adult learners. So let's boldly do this work together. Thank you so much.
Wasn't she excellent? We love Octave. They're a wonderful partner. They're one of our 91 national partners we work closely with, and we're always looking for ways to expand those partnerships. So thank you, LaToya Newsom, for your wonderful work and your wonderful speech. And now I'd like to turn this over to a wonderful partner as well, GED Testing Service. We've worked with them for well over a decade, and we're very grateful for their sponsorship and support. So I'd like to call Vicki Green to the stage.
But it's wonderful to be with all of you today. No, good. We're talking about our favorite topic, which is the GED learner. And so we're going to spend the next 30 minutes with all of you talking about all of the opportunities and exposure that we want to bring to the GED learner and things that we can do to get them on a path to success and a career path for their future. And with me, before we jump in, I'd like to introduce this wonderful, powerful group of leaders. To the right of me, I have Sia Kupataris, who is the Chief Customer Officer at With You With Me. And to the right, we have the dynamic Gregory Larson, adult educator all the way from Los Angeles City College. And then to the right of Gregory, we have the dedicated Kelly Mowbray, the Director of Adult Education for Salina Public Schools in Kansas City. Yes. So let me give a little bit of background as to what we're doing at GED and why we're doing this. We've always said, and again, you heard from speakers before us that said, our work is not yet done. And we know for the GED learner that we have to bring more opportunities for them. The GED is the beginning of their journey. And in order for us to really help the GED learner, we wanted to bring to them opportunities for them to see their potential. As you all know, whether you're a learner or an educator, the number one reason that our GED learners earn their GED is to make their family and friends proud. The number one reason that holds them back is fear of failure. And we know that that fear of failure continues to reap its head even during their GED journey, even after they've earned their credential. And what we know we must do is we must open up their hidden potential and tell them the things that they don't even realize that they're really good at. And their resilience, their life circumstances, and all that they've gone through is a trajectory to a strong future in a role that they don't yet realize. And one of the things that was really powerful for me is about a year ago, I received a phone call from the founder of With You With Me. His name is Tom Moore. And Tom Moore's background is he's a veteran. He served in the Australian War, he led men to combat, and what he found is he came out of war and companies were saying that you had no skills. He had no skills. And how is it that he can lead men in war and come out with no skills? So he and his friends created a company on the backs of potential and reached out to me and said, I think there's so much that we could do together. I know that we can help GED learners understand their hidden potential and untap their dreams for the future. We started talking about how we could incorporate what he's doing at With You With Me around technology skills and bringing those skills to GED learners. So what we did is we launched the ability for all of our learners to understand their learning styles. And what we know about learners is that, again, I'm not saying anything that you all don't know, is our learners don't understand circumstances that maybe held them back in the K-12 system. So what we wanted to do is say, here is an opportunity for you to learn on how do you learn. Some of our learners are auditory learners, some of them are interpersonal learners, but if we could open up their eyes to say, wow, this is how I learn, and maybe these are some things that held me back in the past, we knew that the more they know about themselves, the better their potential on a path to success, and build that confidence for them. And With You With Me did that. They took what was used in the service to untap their learning styles. And so we now offer learning styles to all of our learners in their learner journey. In addition to that, what With You With Me also does is at the end of earning your GED credential, we offer them the opportunity to take an aptitude test. And the aptitude is where their eyes open brighter because they see potential that they didn't understand. Because every learner that I've met, and we talk about technology jobs, their first response is, I don't have anyone in my bloodline that has done anything in technology. I don't have a mom, I don't have a dad, grandma, grandpa that's ever done a technology role, but I love technology. I love the idea of being in a technology role. And so what we did with this aptitude test is we now said, wow, look at all these skills that you bring to the table, and here's technology roles that align to those skills. And we know that the persistence that our GED learners bring to the table is that same persistence that's going to bring them through. After they've gone through their assessment, then we give them 150 hours of free technology training, free. Every GED learner has access to this free technology, and then that in turns into an apprenticeship and then a job at the end of completing the 150 hours. And so our goal is to say, how can we give every GED learner an opportunity to understand their learning styles, their aptitude, how do those skills align to a technology career, give them the 150 hours, and at the end of it, then land them into an employer who will then sign up for an apprenticeship. Sounds like a beautiful story, right? It's exactly what we want to do. And so this is why I have the fabulous Sia here with us. So Sia, I'm going to start with you on With You With Me. So please share your background. I think everyone would love to hear about you and what you do at With You With Me. And then talk about the job fair that you and I were just at last week in Miami.
Thank you, Vicki. I would love to. So hi, everyone. My name is Sia. I'm the Chief Customer Officer for With You With Me, based in Australia. I'm so excited to be here and just see thousands of adult educators in the room in front of me. This is so inspiring. I've never seen anything like it in Australia, and I hope one day we can have so many engaged people in one room. So as Vicki mentioned, With You With Me is a social impact company, and we were really founded to solve underemployment, which is this idea that someone may be working but not in a role that reaches their potential. And the greatest example I saw yesterday was here with Landro up on the stage talking about how he was working in a car wash and he loved that job, but it was definitely not reaching his potential, and all it took was someone to see his potential and give him an opportunity. And we have this global phenomenon who is inspiring millions around the world and thousands of GED learners that it's never too late to graduate. So we see underemployment everywhere in society and in most workplaces, but most commonly it is in those groups who maybe didn't take the traditional K-12 education path. So the GED learner, who many of you here are supporting today, as well as other underrepresented groups. So Vicki mentioned military veterans, military families and spouses, Indigenous and First Nations, neurodiverse, so autistic, dyslexic, ADHD, and also incarcerated and corrections. So we believe that the key to solving underemployment in these groups, and especially with the GED learner, lies in technology. We are living in this world where technology has changed the very fabric of what we do in work and in our lives. You know, AI wasn't here 12 to 18 months ago, and it's something most of us probably use every day. I read a figure last week that said the US digital economy is worth $2.6 trillion, yet less than a third of Americans have the technical skills they need to seize these opportunities. So if we can take our GED learners and our other represented groups and turn them into technologists, then we're giving them the keys to a meaningful and future-proof career. And the great thing with technology is it doesn't require a 4-year college degree or 10 years experience to do it. These are technology-based roles that are skills-based roles. And anyone can learn these skills, and sometimes you just need the confidence to understand how you can learn those skills and which skills you might be best suited to. So that's kind of the why. How we do it is, I would love to say it's a revolutionary model, but the truth is, and you touched on it earlier before, Vicky, we're essentially taking a model that is tried and tested and has been used for hundreds of years by this country's largest employer, and that is the military. Our founder, Tom, was a veteran who saw the way that the military used aptitude testing, specialised training, and skills mapping to train ordinary people to do extraordinary things. So that's what our technology does. It tests someone's cognitive ability and learning preference to identify the skills that they'll excel at and match them to technology roles, high demand technology roles. And then the platform also provides the training they need to go from someone with no experience, no exposure to tech, to be able to step into an entry-level role. And this is the idea of the tech apprenticeship, the fact that you can learn these skills, land your first role in tech, and continue to grow and build from there. So we launched this program with Vicky and the wonderful team at GED around 6 months ago, first of all with the job fair in Los Angeles, and I won't steal your thunder, Gregory, because I know you're going to talk about that, but since then we've had around 2,000 GED learners upskilling through our platform, which is just extraordinary to see. And these are for jobs including cybersecurity, cyber analysts, business intelligence, data analytics, software development, service desk, so many cool things that many of these people would never have considered possible before. They've gone through the process, they've seen that, you know, I might be great at numerical reasoning and pattern recognition, so hey, I could learn how to be a coder, and that's really cool to unlock that. You mentioned Miami, so we were there last week, which was just great. We had 55 people from Miami-Dade College. I know there's a lot of the learners, educators here today, and it was just so good having everyone in a room to learn about this program, to be inspired by the stories of those who've gone through it before, and to meet with local employers. So, you know, connecting with the learner, helping them see their potential and giving them the training is the first step. But we're also working really hard to change the narrative in corporate America that you can hire based off skills. And in Miami, we had 3 great local employers come along to talk about how and why they're interested in this model, and to meet and network with the learners that were there. I think that was a really important part for these learners to have exposure to employers, to do a little bit of practice, get to understand what it might be like to work in those environments. And yeah, I'll just close by saying one last thing, which is that, you know, we've placed thousands of people around the world into technology roles using this model. But a great example of one here in the States is happening just this week, and it's a young man called Rogelio, who was born in Mexico, moved to the States when he fell in love with an American and got married, and desperately wants to build a career in tech. So he did his GED as the first step. It's always the first step, but it wasn't the last step. He then went on to do the tech apprenticeship program, did With You With Me's training, and he's just landed a role as a data analyst with the GED testing service itself. And I just think that's so cool that, yeah, you know, leading from the front, showing people this model works. We just need to give people the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sia. And you can see why we're like minds, With You With Me and the GED testing service, because everything that With You With Me does is about the learner and, again, untapping that potential. So thank you, Sia. Gregory, so we had the pleasure of meeting you. We did a job fair back in September out in the LA area, and you attended not only as an adult educator, but you also brought your classroom. So tell us about your experience and then how your classroom is doing since attending the job fair.
Sure. Thank you, Vicki, for having me. My name is Gregory Larson. I'm an adult educator, like she said, at LA City College. I'm curious, any California, LA people here? A few of my people. Okay. So I heard about With You With Me last fall, probably 6 months ago. And I got an email, and I just wanted to read just part of this. It was a GED Tech Apprenticeship Job Expo. And I was like, I've never heard of this before. Like, what is this about? And basically, and this was part of the email, it says, learn how you can get certified for your first tech role with 150 hours of free self-paced training. Meet career coaches who can guide you through the process and participate in job interviews with real live employers and get inspired by various career paths. So I brought this to my class, and Like Vicki mentioned before, one of the biggest struggles, obviously, I'm preaching to the choir here, we all know this, with our adult learners is they were like, Mr. Larson, I don't know if I have the technology skills. I don't know 100% if I want to go into the technology field. I think maybe the biggest fear was I don't know, like I've not done a real kind of professional interview before. And so all my students, a lot of my students are undocumented, a lot of my students, and I tell my students this all the time. I say, you can bring great dignity to any kind of job that you have. A lot of my students, maybe like some of yours, a lot of my students are gardeners, they're nannies, they work in restaurants, and you can bring great dignity whatever job field you're in. But I ask my students to raise their hands if they want to be in that job 3 to 5 years from now, and nobody ever raises their hand. They want to do something different. So we did a bunch of mock interviews. I brought in some volunteers. We put people's resumes, helped them with their resumes. For a lot of my students, this is the first time they ever did it. We rode the subway in LA, we just call it the Metro. We rode the Metro together, myself and 25 students, and we were doing mock interviews on the subway because they were so nervous because they weren't sure what was gonna happen. And we're used to this. We're used to conferences and this place that's kind of like Disneyland, and there's food and there's fun. And a lot of my students had never been at a professional kind of conference setting like that with a ballroom, and GED and With You, With Me just did a phenomenal job. And so they all went through these interviews, and so you asked me kind of where some of my students at now. So the statistics for my students, 18 of my students have started and continue to work through the training. This is a work in progress. We did this late October, so November, December, January, February. So the last 4 or 5 months, my students have been working through these 150 hours. So 18 of my students are continuing with this. They're doing things like software is the most popular upskilling area, followed by data analytics and project management. And so for me, it's exciting to see my students realize, like, oh, this is a possibility. Like Vicki said before, I love technology, but this is a path to actually get free training and free classes, and there's a pathway for even jobs at the end of this process. One success story, can I share one success story?
Absolutely, please.
I have a few different students. I have a couple students, Fahat and Dachil, that they are working through it right now. They have a dream of doing a tech startup together. They're working like a lot of our students through immigration issues right now, which can be tricky. But I have another student, her name is Esther. Esther is one of my heroic students, like many of your students. She's a single mom, works nights, has a special needs son, and it's hard, it's really difficult. And so I asked Esther, and she's excited about this, she's excited, she's going through this process, and I'm hoping by this spring she can get done with the 150 hours. And so I asked her some things, and she just said, Mr. Larson, make sure you get this right if you're gonna be telling this to people. So I wanted to read what she said. She said, I'm still excited about learning tech skills that are geared for my aptitude and the fact that it's self-paced and it's free, she put in bold. The With You, With Me people respond to students quickly and are always incredibly helpful and encouraging, so we really appreciate that. Students will be getting real feedback on what is needed for With You, With Me to get them hired. This is coming straight from the companies themselves. And then she said this is a program just like the GED to learn skills to secure a better future with access to a job or career with higher wage earning potential. She said, I've never had a job like that before in my life. And again, we all know this. We have to pass on all sorts of GED information in science and social studies and math and English, and there's all this stuff. But one of our callings, I'm convinced, is how can we help, how can we come alongside people to get them into a living wage job? So this is, for me, in LA City College, this is just another tool in our tool belt. We try to have a bunch of different options, but this is one that I'm really excited about and my students have gotten excited about. But I've had to push and pull and challenge and motivate and inspire them to keep doing this because it's just a phenomenal organization. I'm not getting paid for this, I'm not anything, but, it's a phenomenal opportunity for my students. And so that's a little bit what's going on.
Yeah, and I thank you for that, Gregory. Gregory, when we talked to the learners, they were all there because of him. They followed him because he believed in them, therefore they were going to believe in this journey. And so I can't underscore the power that you all have as educators. Every learner wants more, but is right alongside with Gregory throughout the whole journey. So thank you for that. And I love your students, the progress that they're making. It's fun to see that. So thank you. So Callie, we're gonna shift gears a little bit, and you're gonna talk about your program called Partner for Success, an adult education program in Kansas. You have a robust program for placing adult learners with employers through Partners for Success training, which includes soft skills, correct?
Correct.
So bring us through, tell us about what you do in Kansas.
Absolutely. So, hello, my name is Kelly Mowbray. I'm from Salina, Kansas, which is right in the heart of the state. I love following these three because so much of what they've said is a great opener for my thoughts. In 2014, state leadership with Department of Children and Families came to my team and wanted us to really look at developing something that developed around soft skills. And so we spent some time doing some researching, some networking, some working within our community. And our community is roughly 50,000 people, just under. So once we came up with our format and our plan, we started the first, we called them the Pioneer class in 2015. We ran for 5 years. We ran 12 classes. And then right when class 13 was going, the pandemic hit. And so we took a little time to get our staffing strong again, and we relaunched 4 weeks ago with spring break, and have it up and going again. In those 5 years, we endorsed 69 individuals. Of those 69, currently 57 of those are working now. We keep in contact with them, and we're hitting a high 78% of those individuals still employed. But what this looks like in those 10 weeks, it mimics an actual job. Many of the individuals coming to us, they have the GED done, or they are working on the GED, or they need to start. But we know that you and I have those executive functioning skills, that when something happens outside of our workplace or outside the school walls, we know how to kick into gear and survive and to keep that employment. A lot of our individuals continue in a cycle, continue being in poverty, continue making unhealthy choices and not thinking about those consequences, and so the cycle keeps going. So our curriculum focuses very strongly around executive functioning, around growth mindset. We're working on parenting skills while you're working. We build in that workplace technology, workplace math and reading, and something that's new this year since the pandemic, we've seen so many of our individuals struggling with their mental health. So we have a partner coming to the table providing free mental health counseling on site for the students. We're bringing in our WIOA partners with Voc Rehab, our Title I people. They're providing technology and stipends. All of our students get new laptops to keep so that they can have that technology resource at home to keep working. The food bank, we work with scarcity. We're bringing bags of food in each week for our students, so we take a little bit of that pressure off. So while we've got the counseling, working on those healthy relationships that will support them in their employment cycles, if they're working on their GED credential, they've got that going. And then to top it off, I think the highlight of our program, we have over 20 employers in Salina, and that number is growing. So we will build the resume. We will work on interviewing skills. How to complete an application without making mistakes. They come in then and spend time with these students face to face, giving them feedback. These students, they still can't believe that individuals in the community are coming in and wanting them to do better. Even if I'm not going to go work for this company, why would this HR professional or a vice president of a company sit face to face with me and give me that feedback? It really is mind-blowing to them. We have a cosmetology school that provides free makeovers, and then our individuals go out and apply for these jobs, and it's giving back to the community as well.
So good. It's so powerful when you can reach the learner to see things that they don't yet see about themselves, and we all know the power behind that. So what you're doing is really fantastic, and so grateful that we have you here. So we, in closing, one of the things that I'd love to hear from each of you is, what is one thing that you want all of the adult educators to take away that you're doing around GED grads in jobs? So Kelly, I'll start with you actually this time.
Sure. I would say think outside the box, or really don't even own a box. The more intentional you can be in planning, you know, I have 6 teachers. That's all, and they all teach in our main site, but then they all are responsible for teaching a unique opportunity in the community. And so be intentional, don't do things the way that you always do. You don't have to, so that way you can really be creative in your planning and reaching needs of your students, your employers, and your community.
I love it. No box.
No box.
No box. Yes.
No box.
Removing the box. So good. Thank you, Kelly. And Gregory, how about you?
That's a great question, Vicki. In my role as a GED coordinator, I have about probably 8 to 10 other instructors that I oversee, and sometimes I joke with them that we are paperwork people that do a little bit of teaching. I want them to be more teachers that do a little bit of paperwork. Anybody relate to that? We have paperwork and paperwork and paperwork and paperwork. And so I try to inspire my other instructors that part of our jobs, and I know we are so busy, but part of our jobs is to use what I call our cultural capital, based on our education, based on our network of relationships, based on our position as an instructor, to always be thinking not just get people through the GED, that's just the first step in the journey. And I know all of us know that, and we believe that. The devil's in the details, as my mother used to say, that it's hard to actually do that and constantly have a vision for our students about, okay, what is next? And this is one of the programs that we decided, like, hey, we're gonna hitch our wagon to because we think it's phenomenal.
Great. Thank you, Gregory. And last but not least, Sia.
Yeah, look, I guess I would just ask that you talk to your students about this opportunity and what's next, as you said, Gregory, and just get them to take the test. I think there's a really important piece here, which is just consideration. You know, for many people, they would not have looked at technology as something that they could do because they probably don't have a technologist in their family, and it's something that is very ambiguous, and we're trying to demystify that. So if someone can test and can see why they would be good at tech, it's that vital first step. Then they can do a little bit of training. 20 hours, you'll have basic digital literacy. So I would also suggest that your students do the 20 hours just to get some basic digital literacy, because even if they don't want to be a technologist, every role out there needs some level of digital literacy in this day and age. So they might do that, they're better off for it, but they might decide that they love it and keep going and keep going. And that's how we change lives.
That's exactly right. How fabulous are these three? A round of applause for Kelly, Gregory, and Sia. And I'll just close that we could talk about this for much longer than 30 minutes. So we didn't get to the heart of a lot of the details, but we certainly have sessions here for the remainder of the day. So please find us in some sessions where we can go into more details, but we would love your support in rolling this out to our GED learners. We're just getting started. This is the beginning of GED focusing on how we can help more learners on a career path, not only in technology, but in all phases of their life. So thank you all for being part of this. Thanks for all the things that you do for our learners. We appreciate and value. Every learner I've ever talked to said, my adult educator is the reason that I earned my GED. So keep changing lives, and thanks again for being part of this conversation today. Thank you. Okay, so in addition to the panel, I would love to just give a shout out to Sharon and to all of COABE for celebrating their 25th anniversary. You know, what COABE does is so powerful, and we're so proud to be part of this. You guys are changing lives, communities, and we love that we're aligned with all of you. So thank you to COABE, to Sharon, and to the entire team. Congratulations. Thank you. All right, yes. Okay, thank you. So good to see you on the stage, Ann.
Thank you so much. We're delighted to be celebrating 25 years. And now we're going to be turning this over for our award ceremony. And I'm going to be exiting this way, but please do not exit. We have a wonderful award ceremony coming up.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here today. My name is Kat. I'm with Dollar General and the Dollar General Literacy Foundation. We're so excited to be back for day 2 of COABE. I left yesterday feeling very inspired and excited to come back today. So I hope you all are feeling that same energy as well. Like Lindsay mentioned yesterday, Dollar General and the Dollar General Literacy Foundation have had such strong ties to the power of literacy and education. And so we just want to send out a huge thank you to all the educators here and just a wonderful thank you to everybody here in this room for all the impactful work that you do day in and day out. And with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to Adrian to finish our awards for this morning. So thank you again.
Hi, good morning everyone, and thank you for attending today. So this morning we're going to continue with our award ceremony, and we have 4 success stories from within the field to share with you today. So the first one is our Workforce Partner of the Year, and it goes to Mau Castro Trulia from Bria Charter School.
Hi, my name is Mau Castro Trujillo, and I'm here representing Brilla Public Charter School. It is an honor for us to be here to receive this award for many, many different reasons. First, as you might know, in the Child Development Program, we prepare students to work with young children in child care centers. Early childhood is our background, it's our comfort zone, it's our field. So the fact that this award comes from the Coalition of Adult Basic Education means a lot because it is a recognition that it's coming from outside our realm. This reward is also an acknowledgement to my colleagues and I that recognizes the hard work that we've been putting in over the years. It recognizes our commitment, our passion, our professionalism, and the countless hours of work planning, grading, and connecting with our students in this always changing world. We are very proud of the difference that we are making in our students and also in their families. It is also a great honor to be here because it is a way to show the community that we serve that we are here for them and that the work that we do matter to us. We're here because of the work that we do to support them. And in our case, it's particularly important because we support mostly immigrant women. And so to me, this is a way to show them that with consistency and hard work, and of course with education, things can change and dreams can come true. Therefore, it is beyond incredible to be here and be the recipients of this Advancing Workforce Development for Adult Education Award. And on behalf of the CDA team and everyone that works at Brilla Public Charter School, we want to thank COABE for this recognition and for inviting us to this wonderful conference.
Okay, Mau, come on down. Okay, so our next award is for the State Innovation, and this one goes to Laura Pastore from Indiana. Okay, I hear Indiana in the house. I see Indiana.
It is an honor to accept this award on behalf of the Indiana Department of Workforce Development. Because of the incredible work of programs, including directors, teachers, career coaches, and countless staff that support Indiana adult learners, this initiative has been a success beyond our imagination. Unfortunately, we don't always hear adult education and excellence mentioned in the same sentence. The achievement of our learners and our programs are all too often minimized due to the foundational nature of adult education services. However, it is that very point, how adult education sets a solid foundation for future success, that makes our work critically important. Offering multiple opportunities for student success, the rubric of the Programs of Excellence blended state and federal goals and priorities into a common understanding of what is expected of adult education programs and what it means to be a model program. While we were not surprised in the increase of program outcomes across the board at the state level, what we did not predict was the elevated awareness this initiative brought to our programs and learners at the state level, among program stakeholders, and even with the Indiana legislature. This initiative became a platform for those programs earning this designation to better define who we are and what we do, drawing a clear connection between adult education and excellence. What makes this initiative exciting is how easily it can be replicated, how federal goals can be mirrored, and how simple adaptations can be made to reflect differing state priorities. Thank you to COABE for recognizing the Programs of Excellence as the State Innovation of the Year. And a big shout out to Indiana Adult Education and to all of our colleagues throughout this country who innovate, educate, and elevate adult education every single day. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Our next award goes out to two individuals. This is the State Association Leadership Award, or SALLY, and this year it's being awarded to Jennifer Niepchek and Patrick Brown.
Hello and congratulations, McKay. It was really an honor for me to have served as the executive director of such a wonderful organization, really committed to advancing the needs of adult learners and professionals alike. This award certainly is a tremendous tribute to the leadership, collaboration, and shared vision of so many people across the organization. McKay launched several major initiatives to engage its members, including monthly check-ins, collaborative idea sharing spaces, and expanded partnerships. Last year, through McKay's leadership, the state of Michigan increased adult education funding by $25 million, including funding for first-of-their-kind pilots for nonprofit literacy programming and adult education college preparation centers. And through McKay and its partners, adult learners are now able to access financial aid towards college completion. I think what I'm most proud of, though, is the number of adult learners that have been able to have greater access and opportunity than ever before through our work. I've appreciated the collegiality and the camaraderie with so many professionals across the state and nationally through COABE.
I am so happy to be accepting this award from COABE on behalf of McKay. I'm the new executive director of McKay, following in Patrick's footsteps. I've just been so impressed with the participation from our members, the level of engagement in this organization. McKay has amazing advocacy efforts that have really helped, working with our state governments, working with our House representatives to get these major grant opportunities available, to build capacity through being able to help administer part of these grants. I am so happy to be part of such an active organization and to be following in the footsteps of Patrick to help expand these efforts and get more of our adult learners the opportunities that they need and deserve.
Okay, let's give a round of applause for Michigan's Jennifer and Ben, and Patrick, not Ben. Come on. Okay, and the last award today is for our Beyond Literacy initiative. And this one goes to Kimmel Proctor, from Beyond Literacy, the Behind Every Employer Incentive Award.
Hi, I'm Kimmel Proctor, and I have the privilege of leading Philadelphia's largest adult education nonprofit, Beyond Literacy, or BLIT, as we call ourselves for short. BLIT is fortunate to have many engaged community partners, but none as proactively focused on economic mobility as PICO. If you're from Pennsylvania, then you know that PICO is our state's largest energy provider. It's headquartered in Philly, a city where poverty runs deep and the rate of adult literacy is low. I don't know what the energy sector looks like in your area, but as a whole, the industry is largely dominated by aging white male employees. As these workers retire, PICO saw an opportunity to fill their talent gap with workers who better reflect the diverse neighborhoods they serve. Being a line worker or energy technician are just a couple of the many in-demand entry-level jobs that only require a high school credential to earn a high starting wage of $35 an hour plus full benefits. It's common for new PICO employees to make over 6 figures with overtime in a year. That's life-changing. That's why they partnered with BLIT to offer our community members a career pathway with the power to lift a family out of deep generational poverty. But BLIT offers much more than just a pool of job candidates. We also help break the biggest barrier to successful hire at PICO, getting a passing score on their entrance exam. PICO had heard about BLIT's success in upskilling and helping our learners achieve high marks on the GED's math and science sections. PICO's entrance exam is a very math and science heavy test, and the first-time pass rate of their applicants was only 22%. So BLIT developed a dedicated test prep class for folks interested in pursuing a career in energy and utilities. We teach them the skills needed to achieve a passing score on the test that only 22% of PICO applicants could pass. Well, I'm proud to say that our first cohort earned an 88% first-time pass rate. That's a 60% increase, all thanks to adult education services. PICO has since offered us a 4-year grant to expand our test prep class and add interview prep as well, so that when our grads apply to PICO jobs, they would not only offer a passing score, but they would be ready to shine in PICO's required hours-long interview. I'm proud to share that we've successfully prepared over 150 underemployed, underrepresented adult learners for a career at PICO and other leading utility employers.
Kimmel. So I want to ask you to give all of our award winners one more round of applause today for their great work in advancing what we do in the field. And give yourselves a round of applause for all of the support that you've given them and encouragement to go ahead and move forward.
Thank you so much, Adrian. And Sharon mentioned it before. We really do like working with partners that get it. They have the heart for the educators and for the adult learners. And I can't say enough about Dollar General and their support for these awards and to all our award winners. So thank you, Adrian, for being our awards chair. You did a fantabulous job, and the rest of the board. Can the full board stand up today? Hey, board. Thank you guys so much for all the work that has went into this. And speaking of partners and today's sessions and knowing that people do get it, putting the learners first, I can't say enough about GEDTS testing service and the president, Vicki. I've known her for a very long time, and when I tell you she gets it, she gets it. We can't thank you enough for acknowledging us on our 25th anniversary, so we want to just say thank you for that, and thank you for your partnership and all that you're doing for the adult educators, but most importantly, impacting the lives of the adult learners. So to GEDTS, thank you for being such valued, great partners to COABE. Come on up here, Adrian. So, day 2, whew, where are we going tonight? Oh, okay, I thought I was gonna show up there by myself. So tonight we're gonna be at the Old Red. Come with your red boots, your red blazers, your red, where's Tom? Your red hat, I know you have something, Tom. And I want you to come out and join us and have a great time tonight. But before we get to that, please enjoy today's sessions. Thank you, everyone.